I'm Phil.
And I'm Jess.
And for our public engagement project for Halifax in the World, we set out around Halifax to ask the public if they recognise some of Halifax's key figures, monuments and public art pieces and the meaning intended.
We live in a town filled with historical memory, yet many of the residents do not know the meanings behind all these pieces. So we hope you enjoy our project.
Do you know who this is a statue of?
I actually don't.
Have you seen this one before?
It's the clock tower down near the ferry dock.
Perfect. And do you know why it was put here? Or the significance behind it?
I'm not pretty sure.
Citadel. The Citadel.
Have you been there?
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
Very iconic landmark in Halifax. Must see for all visitors.
Do you know who this is?
The guy who founded Halifax.
And do you know why there might be graffiti on his statue?
I know that a lot of people were opposed to how he treated the First Nations people.
Do you think it should be put into a museum?
The statue, or
yes.
Yeah, I mean there is historical significance, regardless of whether or not he, was a murderer or not. I mean, there's historical significance around him, so like I don't see why not.
So do you recognise the sculpture? Or who it might be?
Cornwallis?
Yeah.
Yeah!
Do you have any idea why it might be vandalised?
Yeah, because he's an asshole.
And do you think this monument should be put into a museum or left out in public?
Ooh.
There's a bit of debate over that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not so much in public. If anything, a museum, because it can be like contextualized historically and appreciated within the context of history that it was meaningful. So,
Have you guys been to the Citadel before? Oh my god. What does it mean to you?
Nothing.
Really? Oh, that's a shame.
I know.
Do you know when it was built? No.
1812. No, I don't believe that.
I don't think so.
Do you recognise this statue?
No.
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 Okay. Do you recognise this clock?
No.
Haven't seen it before?
Do you recognise either of these?
Yeah, this is the boardwalk, and then the wave. Been there, slid down it, you know?
Have you been to Point Pleasant Park?
Yes.
Did you see this on your visit?
I did. It was like a war station during the Second World War.
Do you recognise this monument?
No idea.
Yeah.
No.
Yes?
The
What is
top
it?
one.
What is
Isn't
it?
that the Citadel?
Yeah.
Perfect. Do you recognise either of these two?
Yeah.
What ones do you know?
Well, like they're down by the water.
Do you know what this one might mean? No. Do you know the meaning behind it? Have you been to Point Pleasant Park before?
No.
Do you recognise this?
The boardwalk?
Have you seen it before? This public art?
No.
What about this one?
Yes.
What does that represent to you?
Wait.
What about this one? Mean
Is it the
anything to you?
dingle? No.
Dockyard clock?
No, I have no idea.
So the Citadel.
Yeah.
Have you been to it before?
No, never up there.
You've been there. How long have you been in Halifax for?
A year and a half.
And haven't been to the Citadel?
No.
Oh, interesting. Okay. What
It's
about-
intimidating because you can't see it from
Yeah.
the street.
Some people
So-
say
Very
they know it's
deceiving,
here.
actually.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi. Do you know what this is? What? You don't recognise that?
Have you visited Citadel?
I have, yes.
And what do you think of it?
It's a remnant of wartime history. I don't know. It's kind of depressing. French colony. Nothing else in the city can obstruct its view of the harbor front. That's great.
Do you recognise this public art?
Yeah, it's on the boardwalk, right?
What does it represent to you?
I'm pretty sure someone told me it was like drunk people.
Have you ever paid visit to the cenotaph before?
I've not.
You've not?
No.
Do you know much about it?
Absolutely nothing.
What about the poles up there? Have you seen those before on the boardwalk?
Yeah, totally
Yeah?
have. Yeah. And I've also seen this guy.
Do you know what this one's representative of?
I thought all the time that it was like a fin,
Yeah.
and everyone keeps saying it's a wave, and I'm like, no, it looks like a fin, but it is a wave.
Did you recognise this?
Citadel Hill.
Have you been there?
I have.
Yeah.
Have you been inside?
I have been inside.
Did you take a tour?
I did take a tour.
Did you find it interesting?
It was interesting. It was very different and it was informative.
And what do you think the Citadel means to the people of Halifax?
I think it's a good historical landmark for what Halifax used to be representative of in Canada.
Okay. What about this one here?
No.
Have you been to Point Pleasant before?
Yes.
Yes?
Not
Have you been to the Citadel before?
The Citadel, yeah, it's nice.
And what does it mean to you?
It's
Old and musty?
Yeah, that.
Nothing else?
Oh well, no, it's great. I used to play there. We used to play hide and seek there when I was a kid.
Oh,
Half
really?
the stuff I knew you can't get to now because it's all buried. But it's awesome. It's like really, actually when I do the Nova Scotia National Tattoo, and when I have people that want to know about Halifax, this is the first place I'll tell them to go because there's an actual interactive guide.
Do you recognise this sculpture?
It's Edward Cornwallis, I think.
Perfect. And have you seen it before?
Yeah, in the park downtown. I heard a little bit about the controversy, but I'm not really sure what it's all about.
Okay, it's amazing.
Do you know where this is?
No.
Do you recognise this? No. Have you ever been to Point Pleasant Park?
No.
Fair enough. How about this? Have you been downtown?
Yeah.
Do you recognise that? What does it represent to you?
I have no idea.
And do you recognise that?
No.
How about this or that? Have you been to Point Pleasant Park?
No.
No. Okay. What about this statue?
Is that the guy that founded Halifax?
Yeah. And do you know why it may have fake graffitied onto it?
Unfortunately, no.
After taking to the streets around Halifax and Dalhousie, Jess and I observed a clear lack of knowledge and perhaps interest towards some of Halifax's key monuments, buildings and public art pieces. For some of these interviewees, it was the first time they had even seen or heard of these items.
We think that this is a shame because although a small town, Halifax has a strong and rich history, one that we found interesting as it's so different to us back home in Australia.
Thank you for taking the time to watch our project.